Hello there, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Vungo presenting you today top stories as usual.
Prime Minister asks banking sector to ensure interests of people, businesses. Export of aquatic products estimated at record $11 billion. And later on, credit growth hits 13%.
The Supreme People's Procuracy organized a conference on December 28th to review activities in 2022 and kickstart the implementation of its tasks in 2023. President Nguyễn Phúc attended the event.
Speaking at the conference, President Phúc said that in 2022, the Supreme People's Procuracy has reaffirmed its advisory role for the Party and National Assembly in building and perfecting the legal system in general, and the project on building and perfecting the law-governed socialist state in particular. The President also spoke highly of the Procuracy's efforts in fighting and handling many key corruption and economic cases. In order to promote the positive results and overcome the remaining shortcomings, the state leader requested the Supreme People's Procuracy to perfect the institution, to well perform the function of exercising the right to prosecute and supervise judicial activity. He expressed his belief and wish that the Procuracy will continue to fulfill all assigned tasks, especially the objective of building an ethical, healthy, strong, democratic, strict, fair, and justice protecting judiciary to serve the fatherland and people.
President Nguyễn Phúc received ambassadors of Cambodia and Sri Lanka at separate meetings on December 28th.
Receiving Cambodian Ambassador Chanya Vuth, President Phúc emphasized the good cooperation achievements between the two countries in recent years. Accordingly, political trust has been increasingly consolidated and enhanced. Appreciating the efforts of Ambassador Chanya Vuth in his term, Phúc stressed that despite the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, contacts and meetings between leaders at all levels between the two sides were still maintained. Trade relations have grown rapidly, while many activities within the framework of the Friendship Year between the two countries were successfully organized. Ambassador Chanya Vuth sincerely thanked the party, state and people of Vietnam for actively helping Cambodia even during the difficult time of pandemic. The diplomat affirmed that regardless of his position, he will always make efforts to contribute to fostering the traditional friendship between the two countries. Hosting Ambassador Prasanna Gamage, President Phúc affirmed that Vietnam always attaches importance to the traditional friendship and multifaceted cooperation with Sri Lanka. The President suggested the two sides actively cooperate in the fields of fisheries and agriculture, striving to soon bring the bilateral trade turnover to $500 million. Ambassador Prasanna Gamage once again thanks the Vietnamese side for their efforts in the rescue and assistance of 300 Sri Lankans on board a ship that had a problem in the waters offshore Vũng Tàu City in May. The ambassador said Sri Lanka always affirms its stance on the East Sea issue, supporting peace, freedom of navigation and overflights in the East Sea, and peaceful settlements of disputes on the basis of international law, including the UNCLOS 1982.
The State Bank of Vietnam held a conference on December 28th to review its operation in 2022 and discuss ways to implement its task for next year. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended and delivered a speech at the event.
Lauding the banking system's outstanding performance in 2022, Prime Minister Chính emphasized that it has contributed to controlling inflation and maintaining macroeconomic stability and high economic growth. The government leader tasked the banking sector with ensuring monetary security and safety, as well as legitimate rights and interests of people, businesses, and relevant subjects in 2023 and the following years. He asked the central bank to keep the exchange rates and interest rates, as well as inflation control and economic growth balanced, and ensure reasonable and effective credit growth, while contributing to removing difficulties in production and business. The leader also stressed the need to boost digital transformation, as well as the banking system's role in green development, circular economy, digital economy, and innovation. Perfecting relevant institutions, mechanisms, and policies will create a concerted legal corridor for the safe, healthy, effective, and sustainable development of the sector, she noted.
Vietnam's aquatic products are expected to earn about a record $11 billion from export this year, up nearly 24% annually and 22% compared to the plan.
According to the Vietnam Directorate of Fisheries under the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the sector's total output expanded by 3.1% from 2021, reaching over 9 million tons, surpassing the annual average growth during the 2021 to 2030 period under the Vietnamese Fisheries Development Strategy till 2030 with a vision to 2045. Despite difficulties caused by COVID-19 and the hike in material prices, the Vietnam Directorate of Fisheries regularly directed localities to adopt flexible and sound production measures while managing aquaculture synchronously and effectively, from animal feed, varieties to environment monitoring and VietGAP certification. Next year, the sector targets harvesting about 8.7 million tons of aquatic products. The total export of aquatic products will be approximately $10 billion.
Aiming to be one of the world's leading processing centers of export timber, Vietnam is striving to establish legal timber where raw materials are legally sourced and traded throughout the entire value chain.
According to industry experts, by striving to establish legal timber, the country could enhance the reputation of its domestic timber processing industries in the global market and lay the foundation for sustainable forestry development in Vietnam. The goal is to protect the world's forests from illegal deforestation. In 2018, the project, supports to the Voluntary Partnership Agreement (VPA) process in Vietnam towards legal timber supply chains between VPA countries, was signed to enshrine this common goal between the EU and Vietnam. The project has supported training course participation about controlling imported timber from 47 provinces and cities, 406 forest rangers and customs officers.
Credit growth reached about 13% this year as of December 27th, according to the State Bank of Vietnam.
The State Bank of Vietnam said most of the credit was for production and trade. The bank also closely monitors credit in high-risk areas, especially corporate bonds, securities, and real estate markets, while creating favorable conditions for businesses and people to access credit. In order to control inflation, stabilize the macroeconomies, and ensure the safety of the banking system, the central bank also revised up interest rates twice. It also directed credit organizations to cut operating costs and administrative procedures, creating more room to cut lending interest rates, thus supporting businesses and people to overcome difficulties. In the first 11 months of this year, cashless payments rose by 85% in volume of transactions and 31% in values year-on-year.
Heavy rains mixed with snow occurred on Mount Phan in Sapa Township, the northern province of Lao Cai, in early morning of December 28th, covering the top of the highest mountain in Indochina at an altitude of 2,800 meters.
Snowfall started in the mountain peak as temperature fell below -1 degrees Celsius. The snow rain lasted about 3 hours from 5 a.m. Currently, snow is still falling heavily on the top of the 3,143-meter mount. On the following days, snow and rain are forecast to continue to fall and cover the top of Phan Sapan. The majestic beauty of the mountains and forests combined with the snowy scene give Sapa a look of a fairyland. The site is expected to draw a large number of visitors as the New Year holiday is coming. On December 28 morning, the Sun World Phansapan Legend cable car brought the first visitors to the top of Phansapan to enjoy this impressive scene.
The International Kitesurfing Festival 2022, which took place recently in Ninh District in the south-central coastal province of Ninh Thuận, attracted many foreign kite surfers and featured spectacular performances that wooed local spectators.
The International Kitesurfing Festival 2022 in Ninh District, Ninh Thuận Province, featured a total of 70 kite surfers from 15 countries.
And I'm here from 2 weeks, like 2-3 weeks I think, and the weather here is very good, conditions are very good, lagoon here is every day, so yeah, people are super nice and food are very good, very good.
Everyone is excited, both foreign and Vietnamese kite surfers. International kite surfers impress spectators with their wonderful performances.
The coast of Ninh Thuận is considered paradise for kite surfing, as the province is regularly chosen to host domestic and international kite surfing competitions. The International Kitesurfing Festival aims to promote the locality's advantages in tourism among domestic and foreign visitors. It forms part of an international kitesurfing week involving a wide range of activities.
The Vietnam Culinary Culture Association has announced 121 typical Vietnamese dishes for 2022.
The dishes including 47 from the north, 37 from the central region and 37 from southern localities. The dishes were selected basing on their cultural values, history, quality, as well as production, processing, preservation and circulation technology, and economic values. The Vietnam Culinary Culture Association said, with the aim of restoring, preserving and developing the Vietnamese culinary culture, the association has implemented a project to survey, introduce and collect data on Vietnamese cuisine, as a first step to bring the Vietnam brand to the world via cuisine. By the end of 2022, the project has collected the data of 421 dishes, from 60 cities and provinces. The association will continue to complete a database of 1,000 typical dishes of Vietnam in 2023, thus making a Vietnamese culinary map in 2024, and building a Vietnamese culinary museum in the future.
Hanoi has set a target to welcome about 22 million visitors next year, 17.6% higher than that of this year, including 3 million foreigners.
Hanoi also aims to get about $3.26 billion from tourists, an increase of 28.2% over this year. According to the city's Department of Tourism, it is estimated that Hanoi welcomed 18.7 million visitors in 2022, 4.7 times higher than that of 2021. And just 64.7% of the figure in 2019, before the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. The city has hosted about 1.5 million foreign visitors, while under the city's tourism plan for 2022, it targeted to welcome up to 10 million visitors, with just 1.2 to 2 million foreign visitors. In 2022, the city's tourism sector effectively implemented solutions for post-pandemic socio-economic recovery, maintained its position as a tourism hub of Vietnam, and continued to develop an image of a safe, attractive destination for the city.